In the depths of winter, in a time long before the Christmas we celebrate today, ancient peoples came together to honor the most magical turning point of the year, the winter solstice, an awe-inspiring moment when the longest night whispered its farewell, and the promise of the sun's return began to unfold. They called it Yule. Fires blazed, rituals were performed, and evergreen boughs symbolized life's enduring spirit. Though centuries have passed, echoes of Yule still linger, woven into the fabric of modern Christmas. Beneath the tinsel and lights lies a story rooted in the pagan past, a timeless and the eternal cycle of life. Yule is a winter festival historically observed by the Germanic peoples, later incorporated into Christmas during the Christianization of the Germanic peoples. In present times, adherents of some new religious movements, such as modern Germanic paganism, celebrate Yule independently of the Christian festival. Scholars have connected the original celebrations of Yule to the wild hunt, the god Odin, and the heathen Anglo-Saxon Modronite, Mother's Night. Evergreens like holly, ivy, and pine were significant symbols of Yule. They represented eternal life and the resilience of nature, even in the darkest months. Homes were adorned with these plants to invite blessings and protection from the natural world. Mistletoe, considered sacred by the Druids, was hung as a charm to ward off evil spirits and bring fertility and peace. In Germanic and Norse traditions, Yule was associated with the wild hunt, a ghostly procession of spirits led by the god Odin. People believed the hunt swept through the skies during the solstice, and they left offerings of food for Odin's eight-legged horse, Sleipnir, to ensure their safety and prosperity. This practice later influenced the modern tradition of leaving treats for Santa's reindeer. The wild hunt is a captivating and eerie tradition rooted deeply in Germanic and Norse mythology, closely tied to the Yule season and the darkest days of winter. This spectral procession was said to sweep across the night skies, led by the chief god Odin, and its presence carried both awe and fear. The wild hunt was a supernatural event where a host of ghostly riders, accompanied by spectral hounds, raced through the skies or across the land. Depending on the region and the storyteller, the wild hunt was believed to consist of spirits, fallen warriors, gods, or even fairies. Odin, the All-Father of Norse mythology, was the leader of the hunt. Known as a god of war, wisdom, and death, Odin was also associated with the afterlife and the unseen forces of the cosmos. Mounted on his legendary eight-legged steed, Sleipnir, other regional variations of the hunt existed. In Germanic folklore, the leader was sometimes Frau Holle or Perchta, both goddesses associated with winter, fertility, and death. Regardless of the leader, the wild hunt was always seen as a harbinger of great power and change. The hunt was believed to be a time when the veil between the living and the dead was thin. Spirits of the dead, along with elves and other supernatural beings, joined Odin in this spectral procession. The hunt was often seen as a harbinger of death or disaster, with those who witnessed it risking being swept away or cursed. During Yule, people would leave offerings of food or drink to appease Odin and his riders, ensuring protection and good fortune for the coming year. This practice of leaving offerings evolved into later traditions like leaving milk and cookies for Santa Claus. As Christianity spread, the wild hunt was reinterpreted as a procession of damned souls or demonic forces. In medieval Christian folklore, the hunt became a cautionary tale about the dangers of sin and the need for salvation. Odin's traits as the leader of the hunt, his long white beard, association with the winter season, and gift-giving were adapted into the figure of Saint Nicholas, who later evolved into Santa Claus. Sleipnir's role as Odin's steed was mirrored in Santa's flying reindeer. In some versions of the wild hunt myth, children would leave food for Sleipnir, much like leaving carrots for Santa's reindeer today. These female figures, associated with the hunt and winter, were softened into benevolent Christmas figures in some regions. In others, they became associated with witches or fairy tale villains. Santa's depiction as a jolly, bearded man who rides through the sky on a magical sleigh owes much to Odin's image. Odin's Yule tradition of rewarding the worthy with gifts and wisdom parallels Santa's role as a giver of presents to well-behaved children. While the hunt was once feared, its imagery was softened over time, transforming into the joyous, magical journey of Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. The wild hunt and Santa Claus share a common thread. They represent the awe and mystery of the winter season. Though Christianity sought to erase or reinterpret pagan traditions, Many of their elements, like the spectral ride, the winter feast, and the spirit of generosity, survive in modern Christmas celebrations. Santa Claus, far from being purely Christian, is a fascinating blend of mythologies, rooted in the ancient pagan reverence for Yule and the wild hunt.